All right, let's go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the DTools Cloud CEDIA event. My name is Chanel, and I will be conducting your overview today. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to all attendees for your interest in DTools Cloud. Just to set the stage a bit, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to who we are as a company and what to expect with DTools Cloud. DTools has been in the industry for 22 years, and it's the software platform of choice for over 7,000 system integrators in over 90 countries. We are committed to technology and innovation and continue to build and improve on our award-winning software. By the way, our team is fantastic. Our DTools Cloud platform is fresh, modern, and of course, web accessible. It works on any web-enabled Mac, PC, or tablet, and is designed to be easy to use, bringing you the power of DTools at an affordable monthly or annual price. DTools Cloud is designed to help you streamline your sales process. And what we're really trying to do here is help you make the most of your opportunities through CRM capabilities that improve your client engagement, help you better manage your sales pipeline, and keep track of all your activities. We want you to be able to produce quotes fast and seamlessly to create professional, engaging proposals that help you win more business. And it really starts with our catalog. DTools Cloud provides you access to our entire library of manufacturer products that span the AV, IT, security, building automation sectors, just to name a few. We work with a growing number of brands and suppliers to provide you with data to quickly build your proposals. And some of that data includes model numbers, product images, descriptions, and even your specific pricing for select suppliers. You'll be able to collaborate more closely with your clients using visual quoting to present those beautiful proposals that happen to be multimedia, so you can deliver them in real time and quickly get them signed off on and approved. To streamline your process even further, you can also create purchase orders for your equipment and send those POs directly to your suppliers with our integrated ordering. DTools Cloud users also love our Amazon integration, so sign up from inside our application or link your existing Amazon business account and send purchase orders directly to Amazon Business for fulfillment. So our team has been hard at work developing the solution to help you better manage your entire project lifecycle. So what's new? Our change order capability has been receiving great reviews. We've also improved the way you order equipment and track it. We also have improved business intelligence to help you better understand your team's performance, what projects are the most profitable, and what equipment have the best margins, helping you make those better business decisions. All right, so in today's demo, we're going to cover creating an opportunity and quote, winning an opportunity, and creating a project and ordering the equipment. So let's hop into the software, and I'll show you how our powerful yet easy-to-use platform will scale to meet the needs of your growing business. All right, so here we are inside the application, and we've landed on the dashboard. And this is where you'll land when you log into the application. And some key items on our dashboard so that you can manage your day at a glance. You'll see all your open opportunities, the quotes that you've recently created, outstanding tasks, and all the other activity. I'm going to drill down to the Opportunities tab. And this is where the process really starts, is you create a lead, essentially. And these columns represent those key milestones in your sales process, and you have the ability to customize these. I'm going to pop over to my More menu, which are these three little dots, and this is where you'll edit your stages and give them different weights and define the pipeline for your sales process. Keeping in mind that this More menu, the concept is peppered throughout our application. So whenever you see it, sometimes it appears on hover, but always drill down because there's tons of rich functionality embedded in that menu. All right, so once you've customized your stages, then you'll create these unique opportunities and pick them up and drag and drop them on your Kanban board as they move towards close. A little bit more about this interface is that I'm looking at all my opportunities. I can certainly cut out some noise and look at only the things that I'm working on or what my team is collaborating on. So you'll be able to see who's working with whom on what at a glance. All right, a little bit more about this interface is in the upper right-hand corner, you see a bell. And this is your in-app notification that there is activity happening around your opportunities and your projects. So it's like a global news feed, but a really nice way to communicate internally and see what's happening at a high level without actually having to touch base with your team. And in the lower right-hand corner is our in-app guidance. It's on every page of the application. So certainly click on it, touch base with our technicians. They're very knowledgeable, very responsive for those how-to questions. And you can also self-serve and search our knowledge base for articles. All right, now before we get started, I do want to take a moment and jump over to the catalog and talk a little bit more about what to expect here. Now, again, we have hundreds of thousands of products across thousands of manufacturers, and let's drill down to show you what that means. So you can connect directly to your brands or your suppliers to activate your integrated supplier pricing. So our friends over at ADI and SNAP, we are partnered with them, and that's indicated for any brand that has this blue check mark. And the dollar sign also indicates integrated supplier pricing. So what you'll do is you'll select a supplier, click Get My Pricing, and enter the required information. And that way, once you add an item to your proposal, it'll be pre-populated with your cost. And our goal here is to help alleviate the time that it takes having to manage pricing during the sales process. So hopefully you'll be very happy to experience some time savings there. On My Products, this is where all your products will live that are specific for your company. One thing that we did differently with Cloud is that we just want you to start working. So once you're in the quoting process, the act of adding a product from the DTools Cloud library to your proposal also adds that product to your catalog. So this list is constantly evolving, and it's in essence a list of quoted items. Now, if your preference is to come into the catalog and build it out first, you also have that capability, but just keep in mind that we do shape ourselves to the way you like to work. So onboarding is very streamlined that way. You can also add new products on the fly, or you can import up to 2,500 products at a time via our import wizard. All right, so I'm just going to pick a product here and drill down and show you what it is that you're exactly grabbing from us. So once again, I have my manufacturer, model number, short descriptions, longer descriptions. You also get a couple images, front view, back panel view. You can pick what your default would be. The specifications on the product. We also receive additional resources from brands and suppliers. So we lump that product data and the user guide and attach it to the equipment. So this will also be available to your client from inside the proposal. So they can certainly drill down and get more information about the quality of the equipment that they're receiving from you. All right, over on the pricing side, this is where the magic really happens. So once you've connected to our friends over at SNAP, your cost is supplier set. So this is the integrated supplier pricing bit where we know how much you paid for it. Please just let us know how much you would like to sell it for. And when your pricing changes, it will dynamically be reflected inside the application. I just popped in how much I'd like to sell it for, but you can certainly put rules in place. If you'd like to sell at cost plus, 30% for a particular brand, or you can certainly just work from the margin. So in my fake world here, I'm just going to say, hey, if we'd like to make 60% margin on this product, we will adjust your selling price for you to achieve that goal. So we are tying profitability on a per product basis. So ultimately, you'll always know how profitable you are prior to submitting a proposal to your customer. Now, labor. We've seen several, hundreds of thousands of companies, and they all have the way that they prefer to manage their labor. There's pretty much three styles. You can certainly accomplish all three of those inside our application, whether it's the line item or a percentage of the equipment. But our default method is our DTools suggested category labor. So every item that you download from us is going to be pre-populated with a duration. And this number originated from us doing it for so long, or sometimes it happens to be a manufacturer's suggestion. It's really just a placeholder. We want you to be aware of the time that we think it would take, but also massage it for your team. So if you guys decide to hire me, certainly, tack 2 hours on here so you don't lose money. But that's the idea. Labor is tricky for everyone, so dialing it in over time will help you be more profitable once your projects have been completed. And we also understand that there's different types of labor that you sell. So, and they may have different rates. So you're able to stack them. So I have my hour of installation, 30 minutes of programming, and this is all working together to give me an estimated install price on this product. So a very much a set it and forget it approach by tying it all to the equipment. And since we're here in the catalog, I'll just talk a little bit more about the tabs here. So on the labor tab, this is where you'll define the different types of labor that you sell and the different rates. I'm going to pop over to services. Now think of services like a package of labor. So if there is several moving bits of labor that you would like to display to your customer as one line item on the proposal, you can create a service and group those different types of labor together. Speaking of groupings, packages, this is definitely one of the top 3 ways to automate your sales process. We want to leverage as much as we can every single time that you propose a job. So, save it for next time. You can create good, better, best scenarios out here. You can create packages of, an example, my outdoor TV package, or any grouping of equipment that you've used more than once. By all means, create a package and leverage it for next time. It's also a really nice way to scale your sales team. Perhaps I'm new and I'm not yet confident to build it on the fly, but through the work of my teammates, I can be successful in making sure that I'm selling the right stuff. And allowances are by far my favorite feature in our catalog, so I've saved the best for last. An allowance is a placeholder for equipment until you recommend or the customer decides what it is that they'd like to get for the equipment. So really, really flexible during the sales process because they only require a name and a dollar amount. So I have a $500 in ceiling speaker allowance, which will allow me to have a communicate with the client more on a budget, in a more budgetary fashion versus granular, so that I'm able to say, this is where it's going, this is what you'd like to accomplish, and then replacing this and specifying the equipment later. All right. Now, Allowances also have a unique property that allows them to be calculated. And that calculation happens based on a condition that you define. So for example, miscellaneous materials. I've set this up to calculate based on a percentage of the equipment, and it'll capture 5%. So it works like a dynamic skew. It doesn't have a value until you add it to a job, and then it will dynamically calculate based on your condition, which is a really nice way to capture some of those additional costs that tend to fall through the cracks and make sure that we translate that onto the client. All right, so that's a little bit about the catalog. Let's go back to the Opportunities tab and we'll talk about the workflow. So here is where you'll create a new opportunity. I'll just show you that screen, but I'll be working from an existing one today. But just keep in mind that DTools Cloud is mobile responsive. So you are able to pull out your phone and capture your contact details and start the process then and there, or just enter the lead and come back to it when it's more convenient or at a later date. So once you've created an opportunity, I'll just drill down and talk a little bit about the details. So you can always modify any of this at any time, entering your site details, client details, as well as attachments. This attachments button is really nice because it allows you just to tack on that client-specific documentation at a higher level, maybe plans or signed contracts, things like that. And at the top here, I have our ribbon, and this ribbon mimics your sales pipeline. So you can move the client through the funnel during this interface. I have a quote, and all my various versions of my quote will live here until one is accepted. And then down in the activities section, I have notes and tasks. So Cloud is really built for collaboration. So I am able to mention my colleagues and invite them to collaborate with me on this proposal. And what that really does, it lets management know that we're working together. Again, I'm new and maybe kind of attaching myself, to a resource as I learn. And their image overlaps mine, so everyone will be able to know we're working together, and they're also looped in on all the notification activity around this opportunity. And you can create tasks as well. I'll just show my details here, but as you work inside the application, each user has their own footprint. It makes it really nice. Again, internal collaboration. I can see what has changed and who has changed it, as well as any outstanding activity that I set for myself. All right, so we'll drill down one more level and dive into the quote. So we've landed on the project description tab in the overview section. And this text is populated because I pasted it there, but you can also create a master and save it as a default. So one tip in automating documentation is create little snippets of all the services that you provide, and then set it as your default. That way, every time you have an opportunity, you're just taking away the text and tailoring it for that particular person, but you do have a standard set and a lot of documentation ready to go all the time. So that's your overview tab. One thing that we're going to do before we start designing this quote is just wanted to point out that we do have a client mode, which is really, really nice when you're in the field with the customer. Turn it on. It makes it a lot more comfortable to share the screen with them without feeling like you're exposing, sensitive business information. No matter what you click on or where you search, they'll only see their estimated install price. So let's start designing this quote. Hopefully, we'll make quoting fun again. There's two ways to approach the sales process. You can approach it in the traditional list view, as well as our new method, which is visual quoting, which is very, very exciting. Both views are dynamic and interchangeable. So one thing you do on one does reflect in the other. So it's a work preference. We'll talk about both, but since we're here on the list view, we'll start there. So here is where you define the list of locations that you're working in and the systems. We have location templates, but that is certainly a recommended best practice. We want to specify where the equipment's going and what equipment and what system it's a part of. Now, mine is very simplistic, but if you do want to show the hierarchy of the building, floor, room, closet, you can create sub-locations as well. And then pick them up and drag and drop them and arrange them in the order that you'd like them to flow on your proposal. So since we're in the kitchen, we'll continue here. And you can give it a description as well that will print on your proposals. And then we'll just start adding items. Here is where you'll search. And once again, you're always searching your catalog as well as the DTools library. So I'm just going to pick a product from Control 4 and pop that in. We do have a little lightning bolt here, so it allows you to work really fast. I can select the locations where I'd like to drop it all at the same time. But I'm just going to add that. And tons of keyboard shortcuts out here as well. We'll talk a little bit about those. So I've popped in that into my control system, and I've been prompted for my optional accessories. So this is another way that cloud can help the sales process. It's smart. I've accessorized this product in the past, and we're going to leverage that towards this new quote. This allows the user to move more quickly without being less efficient. So one of our my favorite features as well is accessories. Now, if you know that the accessory is fixed, you can certainly hard code it to the product and not receive that pop-up if you know that it can't, a TV can't work without this mount. But if you'd like to use that pop-up workflow, just accessorize it on the fly. A little bit more about this interface. You can add new items right from here. So you have access to your entire catalog right from this interface. And let me just click on this and pull out the details. Actually, I'll just add that Arachnis product. Perfect. All right, and let's just take a closer look at that. So clicking on the product does pull up the product details. So again, I have my cost, my selling price, my labor. Now keep in mind that any change that you make in this environment is specific to this client. So for example, we saw the space and the walls are concrete versus sheetrock. I'm going to update my installation labor by 2 additional hours. That change is only happening inside of this project. So we do distinguish between job specific and global. If you'd like us to remember that change for the next time, you simply just click on the More menu and save those changes to the catalog so that they are pushed out globally and the next user will be able to benefit from that change. All right. Perfect. A little bit more about some of the shortcuts. You can select multiple products at a time. You can cherry pick. You can create packages and copy existing products to new locations. So tons of tips and tricks to help you quickly create those proposals. I'm going to hop over to visual quoting right now and talk a little bit about that. So the first thing that you're prompted to do when you click on the visual button is take a picture or upload a floor plan. That's why I love an iPad as the recommended device. It has the camera. you capture the image, and then you start building on it. And there's a couple different ways that you can do this. You can draw a location on the fly, and I'm just gonna, let's just say I'm gonna put a bar over here. And I've added a location, and then to the bar, I'm going to add some speakers. So you have access to your catalog, and I'm going to search for my in-ceiling speaker allowance. Here it is. So not sure what I'm going to sell this customer, but we have, let me do that again. But we're going to have a budget in place for it. So I'm going to enable my click to add. And now everywhere I click, I'll be adding to my bill of materials, well, in each location. I'll be adding the equipment to each location. So this is a really nice way to, come to a budget with the customer and specify it later. So I've added my in-ceiling speaker allowance, and I'm also going to add a package. Let's just pop in my outdoor. I have an outdoor TV package. Perfect. So I'll add one of those as well. So this is visual quoting, great way to collaborate with the customer. Docked over here on the left, you still have access to all your locations. So I could have added the bar through this new location button versus adding it directly to the drawing. So it's certainly up to you. And then you can click on each location and drill down. We allow you to capture location details, like take notes or just snap a picture. This image doesn't have anything to do with the visual quote, but it's a great reference point for you or your team about that location. All right, and the last thing that I'll do here is I'll just click on this speaker. And now that the client and I have had an opportunity to discuss further, we are going to replace this speaker allowance with an actual product. So here are my favorites that are suggested. You can also search your catalog for the ones that you'd like, but I'm just going to take this suggestion. And 2 in each location is what we're going to be replacing. We're a little bit over budget, but that's okay because that's the goal, right? And we'll swap out my speaker allowance for actual devices. So really, really nice way to, again, collaborate with the customer. And last but certainly not least, we want to review this before we send it out. I'll click on the review and make sure that this is a healthy opportunity for the organization. You'll land on your pricing summary tab, and there's a couple different ways that you can slice and dice this. I'm looking at a summary of product versus labor, but I can look at each location and see what the margins are, because this is all pulling from each product. I can look at my margins on a system level. So really nice visibility. And if I keep on scrolling down, this is where if you have any adjustments, positive or negative, maybe it's a preferred customer discount, this is where you'll track your adjustments. The total, our total profit, and it's an overall 47% margin on this opportunity. So not bad. And once you're happy, you'll go ahead and in the upper right, we will present this proposal to your customer. So this is where it gets really, really fun. We're really excited about our multimedia proposals. So what happens is your customers get a menu on the left so that they can quickly select and drill down and review the area that they'd like. But you have a cover page here. So this is our beautiful beach house, my dream home. I have my company philosophy or your mission statement. So one nice document that really gives the client a good idea of the services that you provide and get them excited about doing business with you. In our portfolio section, now my images that I've added, I've actually hyperlinked to our website. So this is where our customers are getting really, really creative. You can hyperlink them. You can have customer testimonial videos start playing. So they'll end up clicking around to see, what else can I click on? It flows into my company profile and services. I have my project attachments section here, which is really nice. So to us, a file is a file is a file. So if there's any document that you would like to embed within the proposal, feel free to do so by adding an attachment section. So I've attached the visual quote as a reference point for our customer. And I've also attached a whiteboard. Didn't really talk about whiteboards today, but it is another drawing space that we do offer our users. It's more of a digital intake tool. You're able to snap pictures and take notes. It has a pencil. It's really cool. And also a good benefit is the images that you add don't have that circle around them in whiteboards, so our users are able to infuse the equipment into the image so the customer can get a really good idea about what the finished product would look like. So really fun space. Project description. So this is that scope of work section that we automated with our snippets, and that gets mapped into the proposal as well. And then it flows into my proposal line item. So there's tons of different grouping and display options that you have when creating your location details. I happen to be showing my unit price and the total. You can certainly turn that off. You can have us only show the product summary, the dollar amount summarized by location. So again, tons of options with the way that you'd like to present. Do you want to show accessories, the contents of each package, or just the name and a dollar amount? So it really allows you to tailor in your presentation for your customers. So as you noticed, our proposals are interactive, so you can click on them, and here's where they'll be able to access those additional resources that the manufacturer provides to us. User guides, cut sheets, additional product data. And that's pretty much my proposal. I'm just kind of breezing through here so you can get a good idea of what this will look like. And at the end, they get a summary. Again, completely flexible. Do you want to say total is, or do you want us to break out the product and the labor, all that good stuff, payment terms, and then terms and conditions. So it's one solid document, and there's no way that the customer is not going to be excited by this, and ultimately accept and sign your proposal. So they'll go ahead and say yes. One thing that I'd like to bring up as well is that we do offer a third-party payment processing service through ProPay. So if you'd like to close the gap at this stage and have the next screen that your client sees where they enter their payment information for the initial deposit, that's a thing. So check out ProPay for in-field payment processing. All right, so the customer has accepted the proposal, yay, and let's go ahead and update this as a signed contract, one business. Now, I could have moved it over to the one column, but I'm a drag and dropper, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just feels good. I'll bring that over. And one thing to point out, this is a very key milestone in the process. So when your customer accepts your proposal, we still wait for you to put this in the one column because the bill of materials will be locked down at this stage as the as sold. So make your tweaks and then drag and drop it into the one column. Now, this is our D-Tools Cloud CEDIA event, but we also have another product, our flagship product, DTools system integrator, and there is an integration between the two. So at this stage, if you are an existing DTools customer and you would like to push this DTools Cloud project over to SI, this is the time to do so. But to keep it in theme with cloud, we're going to select DTools Cloud and continue to manage the project here. So I will create this project. So very key milestone again, we had an opportunity and now we have a confirmed agreement. So we are on the projects tab. And it brought us right into this project, but I am going to just back it up one level so that you can see on the project tab, you do get another Kanban board that you're able to edit the stages and customize as you manage these projects towards fulfillment. So I'm going to drill down. And the first thing that we're going to try to do is send this over to QuickBooks Online as an estimate so that you can create your invoice. So let's do that because we won't stop bugging you until you do. And the first thing that we're going to look for is this customer. So our integration with QuickBooks Online is quite elegant. So we will search, and when we don't find that customer, we're happy to create that customer for you over in QuickBooks. And we'll do the same thing with the products. If the product exists with a QuickBooks item number, we will know that and track it on our side as well. And if not, now I'm going to assign these two products. And then these drop downs are pulling from your chart of accounts. So you classify the equipment the way you'd like and create it over in QuickBooks. We also have a map. So you can make the hard association. If you know that it exists in your QuickBooks and it's the same product but named differently, this is where you can make the association and link the two. All right, and then the last step is just kind of reviewing the estimate. I'll select some group by options. Most people like to group by location just so that when we push it over, it's organized. I'll select my tax, and I will create this estimate over in QuickBooks Online. And it is estimate 1046. So I'll close this. And then I will hop over to my QuickBooks, click on my sales, and here is Seth and the job that we just pushed over. And we're hands off at this stage, but keeping in theme with the benefits that we provide, we'd certainly want to eliminate the double data entry that would happen at this stage. And then you do your thing. Then you'll create your invoice for the initial deposit. Now back to the cloud side. Now we're still inside of our project, and not everyone may have access to your QuickBooks for sure. We don't want that, but just so that the cloud users have visibility, we added a payment section here so that everyone else that doesn't have access to your QuickBooks can know when the invoices have been paid. Hopping directly to item status, now that Seth's paid his invoice, we're going to start ordering his equipment. So tons of ways to slice and dice how you'd like to order your equipment with filters. I can order everything for the kitchen that I get from ADI or from Snap, and pretty much just drill down. This is where our new item status capabilities are so that you can manage the different statuses and who your suppliers are at this stage. ADI might be my default, but things have changed. They may not be able to provide this. So you can make those adjustments at this stage to select a different supplier. I can also change the status of my items. So maybe this has already been ordered. Maybe we have this one in stock. So really nice visibility when creating purchase orders, which I'll go ahead and do now. I'll add 2 an existing or create a new purchase order. So Cloud, again, is smart. We're going to know if there's a purchase order in a draft state for that supplier and try to amend it with as much equipment as possible so that we can get it all done and out at the same time. Or you also have the option to create a standalone new purchase order. So I'll just tack that SNAP product onto my SNAP purchase order, and you'll be able to see that this purchase order is across multiple projects. And then you can electronically just send this over to SNAP. They certainly are accustomed to receiving purchase orders from DTools Cloud. And this email address is the contact that you set up for that supplier. It happens to be my email address, but you'll set up your contact and then electronically send your purchase orders, or you can export to PDF. So just to show you what our purchase orders look like, there's the detail, very effective. So this is our 8K PO13 for SNAP. Now, depending on your process, this is enough for most companies, and there are those companies that still like to manage their purchase orders in QuickBooks. So you can link those and export this over as well if you prefer to manage it there. All right, so that is the purchase order. And then to manage your purchase orders, that's when you go to your shopping cart here, and you have another Kanban board of different statuses, received, partially received, completely received, and all that good stuff. All right, so that's item status, and let's hop over to change orders because customers never change their minds, and we'll create a new change order, and I'll just call it AV upgrade. Customer called in and wants to make a change. And you can make that note here as a part of the description. And we're going to go down to the Design tab and make that swap. This is where you'll remove things, add things, and replace things. So a couple different actions here. So I'm going to remove one of these. It's prompting you to say, would you like to remove the accessories as well? Sure. And let's do something else. Let us replace this. I'm going to delete my in-ceiling speaker package and let's make an addition. Let's add a another TV. Let's pop that one in. So I made a change, right? I'm prompted for my optional mount here. Absolutely. All right. And the little key over here lets you know what location that change is happening in. So as things move quite quickly, you'll be able to know at a glance where it's happening. And you can also filter along the top here if I want to see just what has changed, the net new bill of materials, what has been added or what has been removed. And there's a lovely proposal with change order branding right here, ready for you to share with the customer. And they now owe us $5,000 more for this change. And then they will electronically accept and sign your change order. I am going to just update my change order as accepted. And doing that will also move any new equipment over to your item status tab, but we do have to have an accepted change order before the new gear gets onto the item status tab for us to start ordering. And we want to certainly amend estimate 1046 with this because it's additional revenue that we need to push over to our accounting software. So we'll tack that on as well. Perfect. All right, so that's a little bit about the project. And again, just to reiterate, on the Orders tab, this is where you'll manage your purchase orders. We also have a status called Ready to Order, which is a nice workflow. You can flag items ready to order, and then if I'm a part of your administrative team, then I can come in and filter by project and knock those out. Okay, and then last but certainly not least, your business intelligence and your sales reports. And this is just really nice. Let's go with the theme that I'm new to your organization, and you're just kind of helping me ramp up. You're able to filter by a lot of different data, duration, type of project, salesperson. You'll be able to see how much I've closed and my average sale. Depending on your project type, this metric here is quite interesting. There's 9 opportunities that I've closed, and the velocity of my sales cycle is typically 18 days from submitted to close. So really, really nice to kind of, dial in over time or just be aware of. My closing ratio, 82%. I've closed 9 out of 11 opportunities. So really good metrics for that Monday morning sales meeting. So that's our sales report, and I'll pop over to our sales forecast. So again, filterable by all this data. I'm looking at my pipeline and the dollar amount, as well as the count of opportunities in each stage. My forecasted sales. Forecasted number is derived from the amount of the quote times the weight of the probability, and the projected average opportunity that we'll need to hit in stride to achieve this goal. And then projected sales by month. So those close dates do matter. If you keep a tidy, if you keep your data tidy, you'll be able to see when the spikes are coming and plan accordingly, or create some activity to, drum up business and get it into the pipeline. And of course, your users. And then I'll just click on the potential tab to give you the view of, you just wanted to see the sum of all your open quotes across all your opportunities. That's your potential. All right. So we've covered quite a bit today. As a recap, we created a quote with visual quoting. We presented the proposal and converted it into an approved project. We then exported the project as an estimate to QuickBooks Online and created a purchase order and change orders. So that puts a bow on it for the cloud presentation, but we are also very excited to share with you a sneak peek of what we're working on next. So I'd like to introduce one of our product managers, Nick Powers, to give you that sneak peek.
All right, so it looks like you can see my screen. Thanks, Chanel, for that great demo, and thank you everyone for joining us today. I'll be giving you an inside peek at the DTools Cloud roadmap and what's to come. I'm Nick Powers. I'm Senior Product Manager at DTools Cloud. I've been on the DTools Cloud product team for over 3 years now, and took over as the lead product manager just after last CEDIA. And since taking over, I've really tried to focus on excellent user experience, rapid iteration. We do releases every 3 weeks, so you're always seeing updates within the application, and really focused around customer-centered design. As you'll see today, we're constantly collecting feedback and releasing features based on users' feedback. And I'm really proud of the work we've accomplished from last year, all the great stuff Chanel just showed, as well as excited to talk about and share the work we have ahead of us. So before I jump into the roadmap and some of the features we're currently working on, you'll see soon, I wanted to talk about the DTools Cloud company vision we have had since launching the product. When we launched, our goal was to make an end-to-end business solution from initial client contact through project completion and beyond. And we didn't want to just build it, but we also wanted to make it best in class. And so as we launched into the market, I'm happy to say we've built a best-in-class quoting proposal solution. As we look into the future, how we will expand into building a best-in-class project planning and execution. Looking at some of the highlights and recapping from what Chanel just shared, we've added visual quoting this last year, which as Chanel showed in her demo, you can easily upload a floor plan or take a picture, draw on different locations, quickly click to add products or allowances to replace later, making you more efficient at building those quotes and kind of giving you a different way to present data to your customer as well. You can simultaneously manage project changes on approved jobs through change orders. We've updated our business analytics to help you better manage your sales through improved forecasting and pipeline reporting. We've added user permissions for companies that have a large amount of employees that want to restrict access. And we've released an integration with SI, D-Tools SI, which you can push signed contracts directly to SI for SI's powerful engineering drawings, project management, and ongoing service. And as always, we've continued to iterate and improve on our existing capabilities that are already in the product. So the first feature I wanted to talk about that we're working on today is client selectable proposal options. This has been a highly requested feature that allows you to easily add options onto each product and let your customers choose what they prefer in that web proposal Chanel shared. This, of course, gives you the potential to increase the total project sale, but where we really see the value is getting your customer more invested in you by deciding if they want to go with a good, better, best scenario instead of making them decide, okay, do I want to go with your company or have this system implemented or not? We believe this is going to increase our customers' close rate, and we're excited to add this into the product. Like mentioned before, we're driven by customer feedback, and this is our #1 requested feature. We've been working really hard on it all this summer. I'm excited to share that it'll be in production by the end of the month. I'll share a few screens here around those just to kind of show what it's going to look like. Creating alternates are really easy to set up and save for future use, whether on similar products in your quote or for future quotes. You simply select the products and provide recommended items. You can label with good, better, best, or any label that you choose, and simply save. And items added to quotes will automatically include pre-configured alternates. So you can quickly, easily add new options while you're designing your quote. So you have your pre-saved options on products, so they're default applied, or you can add to that product. And further engage your clients by allowing them to personalize the job, investing them in the project, and increasing your effectiveness at winning each job. You can see in this animated GIF here, the client will be able to see these view options, click that, see your recommended, and select from other ones with a price difference. You can always revert back to your recommended as well, making it a great user experience for your client as well. The next feature that we're currently working on is our project planning and execution. At the beginning of this, or my presentation, I mentioned our company vision for solving your end-to-end business solution needs. This feature is the second piece of taking a one job and executing on it. I'll show you more in a second, but from a high level, you'll be able to build a plan, assign and schedule resources, and collaborate with your installers to execute that plan. Again, focused on customer needs, this includes 2 of our top 5 requested features, among a lot of other requested features within our most popular requested items. And this is actively being worked on by our engineering team and scheduled for the end of this year, 2020. So we're super excited to get that one out there as well. A few slides showing what this is going to look like is for each product or for each project, you can build a project plan by creating tasks and prioritizing them. You can schedule your tasks across projects. So you know when you have availability and your installers know where to be and what to do for each of those tasks. And you can add the necessary detail onto each task from description, checklist items, pick lists, attachments, comments, and issue these tasks to your installers. And probably most importantly, collaborate with your installers in the field on each task so they know what to do and can communicate status updates and questions back to you. So to recap, we're working on client selectable options and project planning. Those will both be out sometime this year. And next we'll be working on some other iterations like improving the proposal even more to make it more interactive. We're going to be adding some item tracking features so you know where your equipment is with the appropriate status. And we also are going to build out more integrations to support the business tools that you currently rely on. I want to say thank you again for coming today, and I hope you are as excited as we are in what we're building next. I also want to say thank you to any customers listening that have provided feedback and helped build this product. If you haven't tried DTools Cloud, we offer a 14-day free trial at dtools.cloud, and I encourage you to come visit our video lounges. I'll be in there, Chanel will be in there a little bit, and we'll be answering questions of anything that you might have or anything you want to dive deeper into that we showed today. Thanks again.